Hey guys, so we're back to talking about lighting, part two, and this is the request of somebody in one of our professional Facebook groups that wanted to know a little bit more about the lighting that wasn't the scan grips that we focused on in the last video. And so I'm going to show you all the LEDs that we have around the shop. It's an absurd amount of lumens. It's so bright in here that your eyes will need to adjust when you leave. It may not even show that much on camera. So we went a little overboard for max lighting when we need it. And that's good for some of the photography. Also, if we're doing interior detailing without, putting a light inside, there's a number of reasons why we like this big light. And we use the max lights typically when we're installing clear bra. We are, unlike scratches, the debris and stuff in the film does seem to be easier in this environment compared to when we use the scan grips for paint correction, because the scratches are white to the naked eye. It washes it out if you use this much light, but for clear bra, it doesn't seem to do that. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you around the shop. All right, guys, so I'm going to go back and just kind of recap real quick that we do have all of our lights kind of broken up by smart plugs. There's a couple that are grouped together, but a lot of them are separate and they're controlled within Alexa, as you see here. So the brand that we're looking at when we're talking about these thin lights, we bought them on Amazon. They come in large packs. You can get them in something like 1 foot, 2 foot, 4 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot, and you can get packs of 10. They're pretty cheap lights. I think they're good. Just something to realize: if you have an issue, they only sell them in the packs that they sell them in. So one time I got a light out of like a pack of 8 that was broken on delivery, or it just died right away. The board shorted out. And the only thing they did was refund me like 1/8 of the total cost of the price. So that was kind of annoying because I have an even amount around the shop, and they can be chained together. They do come with these chain cords, but you can use your own as well. Like you can find these online. It's a standard typical 3 plug. And then they also come with some of these connectors, so you can butt join them like right there, like right up against each other. And you'll see where I'm talking about. See this light here, this board is fried on the back side. So I kind of rotated it out. It's a little bit hard to notice if I don't point it out. I do need to and want to replace that. But it's just, that's the price you pay. They're super cheap. These, the softer lights, those are stuff that I picked up at Home Depot before I even opened the business. And they're like the garage lights that we keep on 24/7. So if we walk out here, it's not pitch black. The other stuff we obviously turn off. These lights are fairly low output. Power consumption. Believe it or not, they are pretty efficient. So they're all running on smart plugs, like I said, and chained around. I do have them split up. If you recall from our power video, I've got a bunch of different 20 amp circuits. So those are all kind of running separately. Well, not each individual light, but these are all not on the same circuit. And then the next thing you'll see around the room are the floodlights. There's actually 2 types in here. It may not be readily obvious on camera. One is 150 watts. So for example, that's a 100 watt, and that's a 150. The scale might be a little tough to see on camera, but they're slightly different sizes. And we have a bunch of those around. And we kind of like turn these on and off along with the scan grips. You'll see us doing that at various shots, depending upon where Mike, our photographer, is. We'll turn them on and off, and I haven't had too many issues with them. They do get massively hot. They have a heat sink on the back, but they're actually, fairly low power consumption compared to what you're getting, because they're like 10 or 15,000 lumens a piece. And this one has an issue with the switch. So you can see I've kind of got it like taped up, and I haven't replaced it yet, but basically the switch on it is kind of finicky and it'll turn off over time. And so the last bit that I was asked to talk about was how I have the garage lights connected. So they come with these brackets, which I've screwed using a self-tapping screw into the garage door, and then they sit here and they're all kind of connected. You see the power comes in here and then it sort of snakes along. These are pretty good. You know, this system, I need to find a better system. It's probably the thing I hate the most about the shop, honestly, is to do this, you know, we have it manually plugged in. So it's controlled by a smart switch, but when we want to plug it in, we have to plug and unplug it, because otherwise, when you open the garage door, it rips the end off, which we've done quite a few times, actually. And you would think like, oh, just make a bigger cable, which I did at first so that it can track along, but I've had it get caught on stuff, or you're not thinking and you have something sitting here and it gets caught. And, you know, I do have it in there pretty good, but, you know, if you leave it on and it goes up there, it can, or tends to just like, it'll just take the light off the garage door, and you don't want that falling on a client. So if somebody has a great recommendation, I'd love to hear it. If you're in the Central Texas area, I'd probably pay you to come install it. I'm not really a fan of wiring up stuff. So those are the lighting that are not related to the scan grips. And you can see, same thing here, just kind of daisy chains around, and there's a lot of plugs up there. So I hope this was helpful and informative for you. Hope this satisfies what you were looking for from a perspective of the shop.